Hi there, folks. Welcome back to The Convo Couch. I'm Lawrence.
I'm Sun.
And on today's episode, we have musician and audio engineer Claire Rasa.
Hello.
On today's episode, we're looking at something a bit different. So she'll be our first episode where we discuss out of 10. What would you rate it with 10 being the only option?
Oh, 10.
Is that all?
100.
Okay.
That was a very big jump.
Everything on the show is factual.
Yep.
You've had 2 singles chart in the Billboard charts in the US.
Yes.
Nice. So that was All I Wanted
Yes.
and Take Me Back.
Yes,
So could you
those
talk us through that process for those singles?
So that process was, I think it was like, gosh, about 15, 16 when I wrote the 2 songs. Yeah, I remember when I was like 16, I think Take Me Back was about a guy that I liked at the time that didn't like me back, and then All I Wanted was about like a school program that I didn't get into. It's like so funny yeah, you wouldn't think it, but yeah. So that's what that was about. All I Wanted was probably the first one that I properly wrote as a song. And oh my gosh, what was the question? I wasn't train of
Just
thought.
talking about All I Wanted and Take Me Back. Just the process
the
behind
inspiration
it.
of those songs. Hey,
Process. Yeah, well, the inspiration was basically like the whole school thing that happened, and then boy drama, which is like what most songs are written
That's
about.
That's it.
Yeah, and then, oh yes, I remember now. And then I put them up. I recorded like a really bad demo in GarageBand.
Gotta start somewhere.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I remember it was like with my phone. Like my lecturers at university are probably like cringing right now. Like my fellow audio people are like, oh my god, GarageBand and a phone. Like, what is she doing? But that's how it started. And then I sort of put them on YouTube, and I put them on, I think it was Triple J Unearthed.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And then through that, a local production company here in Sydney reached out and was like, oh, do you want to have these songs produced like professionally? I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Yeah.
That's what you want.
Of course. So they produced the songs, and then with that, 15-year-old me was like, I'm going to start pitching these to labels. Like, why not? So I didn't get many messages back, obviously. And then I thought, why don't I try, instead of Australia, try going over to America? And so I sort of pitched them to a few people over there, got a few replies, and then this manager actually messaged me back and wanted to take me on, and I ended up signing like a 3-year contract with him, and he's sort of the one who sort of pushed it.
Producers like Dave O'Day, Stonebridge actually got involved in production. Could you explain how they became involved in the production of those, or the remixing of those songs?
Well, my manager at the time was good friends with Dave O'Day. So
That's what you want. That's what you want. Connection.
that's what you want, your connection. So he came on board, and it was really cool because, like, you look at like what Dave O'Day's done.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane. And then he ended up doing a remix package with All I Wanted, and then they brought in Stonebridge too. Yeah, it was just really cool because I got to meet Dave O'Day, and it was just like a super like overwhelming process, and just to even have them on board. And I think even just going back to the whole production side of things, just meeting people like that also was like, wow, like seeing what they can do with a song. Like, you have one version, and then seeing how they can almost completely change it to another version. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. For those of you, like, if you're gonna look up these songs, the original version of Take Me Back is a lovely guitar ballad. It's beautiful. And then you get the Dave O'Day remix, and then you're there in the club just...
he's getting into it.
I'm getting into it. Like, when I go to the gym, which is not often, when I go to the gym in the mirror, you'll get the song and you just want to kind of
I love that.
It's so good.
You can't get anywhere in life without working hard and taking risks. Like, despite so many people telling me like, oh, it's like a pipe dream, like it's never gonna happen, or like just stuff like that. And I remember at the same time I was studying my HSC too. And I think at one stage, when it was all happening in the US, I was studying my HSC. I remember I was on a flight to LA and I was like literally studying for my legal exam, and it was like 10 flights back and forth from like Sydney to LA. It was crazy. So yeah, I guess just like keeping that focus and just don't let anything cloud your judgment, because there are people out there that will want to take advantage of you. And especially being so young, I guess, which is kind of sad, but I almost let that happen in a sense. And now that I'm a lot older, I'm reflecting back. But then I think I was so young at the time. And if there are young people out there who want to get into music, I guess just, you know, watch out for, you know, people that do want to take advantage. And that's why I say, like, always stay true to who you are. It's so important. And then I remember one time it just started to get to the stage where it was really taking a toll on me physically, mentally, and the thing that I guess sort of got to me most was when my manager, who I'm no longer with, but he said to me, like, you're a girl, I shouldn't tell you how to dress, and telling me things like I needed to be sexier, and, you know, to me that was like a huge no-no. So that's when I'm sort of like, okay, I don't know if the whole, you know, pursuing it to that degree is going to be the best for me. Like, I definitely could have kept going with it, but I think just for my own, like, personal happiness, I sort of needed to take a step back. And that's, like, when I went back to my careers advisor at school and was like, I need a plan B because I don't want to do this anymore. And that's when she suggested the whole other side of the industry, which I like a lot more. The best way to sort of, I guess, describe audio in the film sense is that it just incorporates sound design. So, you know, that's everything from building up atmosphere, which, you know, again, is something that people don't usually notice when they're watching a film. But, you know, you sort of have to build the atmosphere of a room. So, for example, if I was to build up the atmosphere of this room, I'd find like the room tone. You'd also take into account like what's outside. For example, you might have birds outside, and then you try and get that to sound as natural as what it can, seeing the way inside. Just little things like that, which is interesting. Yeah. You know, for example, as well, if there's like a house, I don't know, I was on a shoot and there was a house and there was traffic, and one of the actors opened the door and then closed the door. So you got to take into account of like finding car noises, and then trying to get the difference between the inside and outside world.
It's that finite.
It's like so fine. And then you get into like the areas of like 5.1 mixing, where it's not just, you know, mixing two speakers left and right. You've got, you know, your middle, you've got your two front speakers, and you've got your behind speakers. So like picking out like what sounds need to go where and how it makes sense. And that's when it gets really involved.
What's your favorite microphones to record into?
Oh, the SM7B for vocals. Very nice microphone. Yeah, my favorite. And the sorry I cut you off.
Okay.
A baby bottle if you're doing like ADR recording where you're in like
a baby bottle, like
a baby.
Oh.
But it's a microphone. Yeah, it's called a baby bottle, and it's like another great vocal mic that I love, especially for ADR and like post-production work. Yeah.
So for those who are watching again, starting at home, not knowing what to do, are there any essential equipment that they probably need to get started with their career if they wanted to go into singing or producing? What are the basic resources you would need as someone starting out?
Basic resources I'd say is obviously a laptop or a desktop, but a laptop works fine. Another thing is an interface, because you need something where your signal is going to run into, because it's way too much power for your laptop to have, and you need something to sort of have your microphones running and routing into, you know.
Is there like a specific thing that you'd suggest or product you'd suggest?
If you're starting out, I recommend looking into the Scarlett interfaces, like the 2i2, or you can even get one that's just got like two inputs if you're just sort of recording vocals mainly. It's a great starting out interface. So that sort of just plugs straight into your laptop. Then I just recommend getting a good microphone. Doesn't have to be super high end. AKG 220 is a good example, pretty affordable. And I'd also look at, especially if you're doing vocal work, like a nice booth or something, mic stand with a booth, so you can sort of get a cleaner sort of sound. And what else? I was going to say something else. Yes, a DAW, which stands for digital audio workstation. So there's so many. There's Logic Pro, there's Ableton, there's Pro Tools, which is like the industry standard, which, you know, you can sort of use for both film and music, which is why I like it. But you know, even just starting out with like GarageBand, again, probably a lot of my audio friends are going to be like, what is she on about? But if you're starting out, GarageBand's great, and, you know, it's sort of really upped the program now. And if you want to take that step above GarageBand, I'd highly recommend Logic Pro X.
Would people benefit from studying and taking a course to maximize like the results with their journey in songwriting or producing or audio engineering? I
honestly think it depends on the individual, because not every single creative takes to a learning environment. Yeah, that's a hard one to say. Like for me, I think I really benefited from going and studying because it just developed my skills further, really opened my mind. Like I had no idea about the film side of audio until I started the degree. So if I didn't do the degree, I probably, you know, wouldn't have got the work in the film side that I've gotten. Yeah, it just depends on the individual. It's a hard one to say. But I think it's beneficial. You know, you meet a lot of cool people and you get to use a lot of cool equipment. Yes, women, you know, girls, take audio. It's a lot of fun, and there needs to be more representation of women in the industry especially. So any, you know, girls or whatever who might be umming and ahhing about sort of production or, you know, even the film side of audio, just take the plunge and do it, because I don't think you'll regret it. It's probably one of the best things I did. What else to do?
These are the sounds coming out of my mouth. All right, second one. Oh, there's a bag of chips. I'm so sorry. Okay, last one. Hello, everyone. I'm Usain Bolt. This is my day job. On your marks, get set. Oh, there's the finish line.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke a rib.
Oh. It's like...
I love myself.
One last final big hit. Hadouken.
That's very delayed.
Sorry, I went slow motion with that
You
one.
have to do a slow mo sound.
How much you? Okay.
Ready?
And we have come to the end of this episode of The Convo Couch. I'd love to thank our guest again today, musician and audio engineer, Claire Rasa.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much.
fun.
Thank you so much for coming along. Folks, I'm Lawrence,
I'm Sun.
and we'll see you next time.
Woo!
Take me back to the direction. I know the lyrics.
Yeah. So the main place that you can find me will be, just for me personally, clairerasa.com. For my production sort of company that I've got, you can go to soundmeoutproductions.com to see all my work and what I've done in that sort of field. And yeah, just stay tuned for more music, hopefully to come.